It has been a big month for the city with the announcement of JetZero coming to PTI, yes, and the budget adopted, which is why Mayor Nancy Vaughn is with us. So let's talk about this. The new budget, 3.3% over last year, $828 million total.
Correct. Yes, it was our city manager's first budget. He did a great job. We were able to do it without a property tax increase, maintain our services. I think it's a really strong budget.
All right, now with the budget, it's online for any of you who want to see all of the details. It's hundreds of pages.
It is.
When you break it all down. But there's a summary of where the city gets the money and where the money is spent. And there's like $2 bills. All right, so let's kind of talk about what that says.
So that is really just a great overview, and it tells you how we fund the budget. Most people think it's done by property tax alone, but it's really not. There are lots of grants that we get and fees, and then it shows you how the money is spent. A lot of that is infrastructure, water and sewer, but a little over 25% is public safety, and I think that's a really strong number.
Yeah, so that dollar bill at the top was how you get your money, and then the dollar bill at the bottom was how you spend that dollar bill.
Yes. And if you go on the city's website, there is a budget calculator. So for people who think that we should cut taxes or spend more money somewhere else, it gives them the ability to play with the budget and create their own. And they can see how difficult it really is when you decide you want to start shifting funds around.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about this. You're not running for re-election.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I know you've been counting down the days. There are several seats up for grabs. Some folks have said that they did want to run and they made it known, but filing season is actually coming up.
It is July 7th, and it is for the entire city council. That's 9 seats. The mayor, 3 at large and 5 districts. The filing fee is $300 for mayor, $200 for the other seats. It will be open, I believe, for 2 weeks till the 18th. That's a hard cutoff at noon on the 18th. If you show up at 12:05, that's too late. So the next couple of weeks we'll really see how big of a field, how big of a field there will be.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who say they're going to run, but until you file, it is really not official.
And you know, this next council is going to be really important, and my message to them is don't mess it up, because we have so many great things, so many wonderful economic development announcements, but we need this next council to see it over the line, to make sure that we've got the talent pipeline where it needs to be, we've laid all that groundwork, that we are working on the road to 10,000. So this upcoming election is going to be very, very important.
All right, so part of laying that groundwork is what we talked about last week, and that is JetZero, really going to change the landscape of this area.
It is. That was such an exciting announcement. You know, we are still celebrating the great announcements that we've had since Publix. You know, Publix and Toyota and Boom and Marshall USA, and they just really keep on coming. And this had a relatively quick turnaround, but we are really excited to welcome JetZero to the PTI airport along with their 14,000 plus employees. That is going to be huge for our area, because not only is it the direct employees, it's the supply chain logistics that go along with it. So we are going to see a lot more people coming into our area, but more than that, we are going to be able to provide our residents with really good jobs. So kids that are in high school now, people who are in college, that they will have wonderful jobs that they will be able to choose from.
Yeah, we want to make sure that you know about this. There is a meeting tomorrow for folks to talk about that road to 10,000. That's the city's initiative to create more housing here. JetZero is now going to be a really big part of that. So let's put up that screen there so that you can see where it is going. That is Thursday, and it's from 4 until 6. It's at the depot. It's free for you to go, and this is a time and a place where you can ask questions about how does the infrastructure work, how does transportation work, how does building work. These are the things that you want to know. This is where you need to go to ask those questions. Now, speaking of questions, we're going to continue talking to the Greensboro Mayor, Nancy Vaughn. You can send in your questions for a chance for her to answer those questions. Here's how you do it. You text it in 336-379-5775.